Have you ever felt like you were destined for something great, but something was holding you back? That's the story of Lucas, a high school sophomore with a dream bigger than his own shadow. See, Lucas lived and breathed basketball. He could tell you the stats of every legendary player. He could analyze plays like a seasoned coach, and his passion for the game was absolutely undeniable. There was just one problem. When Lucas looked in the mirror, he didn't see the athlete he felt like on the inside. He was overweight, and his stamina just couldn't keep up with his ambition. Every day at school was a quiet struggle. He'd watch the varsity team practice from the bleachers, a silent spectator to his own dream. He saw the swift movements, the high-flying dunks, the crisp passes, and a wave of longing would wash over him. He was 5'8", a decent height for a point guard, but he felt anchored to the ground. The other kids, some of whom didn't have half his basketball IQ, would run circles around him during gym class. He'd hear the occasional snicker. They'd whisper Zuv, he's too slow, or he'd never make the team. Each word was a tiny pebble added to the mountain of doubt he was already carrying. One afternoon, after a particularly tough day, Lucas sat alone in the empty gym. The squeak of sneakers and the rhythmic bounce of the ball echoed in his memory. He looked at the hoop, the 10-foot-high ring that seemed a million miles away. He could quit. He could accept that maybe basketball was just a dream he'd watch from the sidelines. He could find a different hobby, something less physically demanding. It would be the easy path. But then, a fire ignited within him, a quiet, stubborn flame that refused to be extinguished. He was tired of watching. He was tired of wishing. He decided, right then and there, that his story wasn't going to be about the boy who couldn't. It was going to be about the boy who did. That evening, Lucas didn't go home to play video games. He went online not to watch highlights, but to research. He devoured articles on nutrition, workout plans for athletes, and drills for improving speed and agility. He learned about calories, proteins, and carbs. He realized that the food he ate wasn't just for taste, it was fuel. And he had been putting the wrong kind of fuel in his engine. His first step was cleaning out the pantry. The chips, the soda, the sugary snacks, tea, all went. He replaced them with fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. It was, too. The cravings were real, but every time he reached for a snack, he pictured himself on the court, and he'd grab a bottle of water instead. His physical transformation began at dawn. Before the sun was even up, Lucas was out of bed. His first few runs were brutal. His lungs burned, his legs ached, and every step felt like a monumental effort. Moretanonse, he had to stop gasping for air, feeling defeated. But he remembered the whispers in the gym hall, and he pushed on. He started with just a mile, then 2. He added sprints, jumping jacks, and push-ups in his bedroom. He found a jump rope in his garage and started using it every single day, working on his footwork and coordination. The fat that had clung to him for so long began to melt away, slowly but surely. While he was reshaping his body, he never neglected the core of his dream: basketball. He spent hours at the local park, often alone. He started with the basics, dribbling. He dribbled until his hands were sore, practicing with his left hand as much as his right. He did stationary drills, then dribbling on the move, weaving through imaginary defenders. His handle, once clumsy, started to become an extension of his arm. He could feel the ball, control it, make it do what he wanted. Then came shooting. He practiced free throws until he could make 10 in a row, then 20. He worked on his form, studying videos of the greats, ensuring his elbow was in. His follow-through was perfect. He practiced layups from every angle, with both hands. As the weeks turned into months, Lucas started to see a new person in the mirror. His face was leaner, his jawline more defined. He could see muscles in his arms and legs that he never knew he had. He was lighter on his feet, quicker. The boy who could barely run a lap without getting winded was now sprinting up and down the court, feeling energized. His confidence grew with every pound he lost and every shot he made. He was no longer just a spectator. He was becoming a player. The first person to really notice the change was Coach Miller, the head coach of the varsity team. He saw Lucas at the park one evening, long after the sun had set, still practicing under the dim court lights. He watched for a while, impressed by the boy's relentless work ethic. He remembered Lucas, the quiet, overweight kid from the bleachers. This was not the same person. This Lucas was focused, skilled, and had a fire in his eyes. The next day, Coach Miller approached him in the hallway. "Lucas," he said, "I've seen you practicing. Tryouts are in 2 weeks. I expect to see you there." Those words were like music to Lucas's ears. It was the validation he had been working for, the first real sign that his hard work was paying off. Tryout day arrived. The gym was buzzing with energy, filled with hopeful athletes. The old Lucas would have been paralyzed with fear, intimidated by the talent around him. But the new Lucas felt right at home. When the drills began, he didn't just keep up. His dribbling was tight and controlled. His passes were sharp and accurate. In the scrimmages, he showed his high basketball IQ, making smart plays, finding open teammates, and playing tenacious defense. The other players, who had once dismissed him, were now looking at him with respect. He wasn't just the overweight kid anymore. He was a baller. When the final roster was posted on the gym door, Lucas's heart pounded in his chest. He scanned the list, his eyes searching for his name, and there it was. Lucas. Varsity basketball. A wave of emotion washed over him, relief, joy, and an immense sense of pride. All those early mornings, all those grueling workouts, all the junk food he'd given up, it was all worth it. He hadn't just made the team, he had earned his spot. His journey didn't end there. Making the team was just the beginning. As the season progressed, Lucas became an essential part of the team. He wasn't the tallest or the fastest player, but he was the smartest and the hardest working. He became the team's starting point guard, the floor general who controlled the pace of the game. His story inspired his teammates. They saw where he had come from and respected the dedication it took to get there. He led them not just with his skills, but with his heart. In the final game of the championship, the score was tied with 10 seconds left. The ball was in Lucas's hands. The crowd was roaring, the pressure immense. The old Lucas would have crumbled, but this Lucas was forged in the fire of discipline and self-belief. He dribbled past his defender, drove to the basket, and with a graceful move he'd practiced thousands of times. He laid the ball gently off the glass and into the hoop as the buzzer sounded. The gym erupted. He was mobbed by his teammates, lifted onto their shoulders, a champion. Looking up at the cheering crowd, Lucas finally saw it all clearly. He wasn't just a basketball player. He was proof that with unwavering dedication and a belief in yourself, no obstacle is too big to overcome. His journey from an overweight dreamer in the bleachers to a championship-winning hero on the court was complete. He had not only transformed his body, but he'd also transformed his life, proving to everyone, and most importantly to himself, that the only limits that truly exist are the ones you place on yourself. And his story was just getting started. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you next time.